All right, we'd like to welcome you guys to the Friday main event, week 2, Lee Teat, and we are live at Blackman High School. We've got a big game tonight, man. I'm really fired up about this one. Ravenwood headed over here. This should be a slobber knocker tonight.
I think so, brother.
Well, we appreciate you guys joining us again. This is week 2 live stream for Friday main event. We got a great coaching lineup. We'll go ahead and get started with our first guy. We got Coach Kit Hartsfield here on his home turf. Coach, we appreciate you jumping on with us, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being out here and getting good exposure for these programs and just covering high school football.
Well, Coach, I believe you played at Riverdale, and then I think you spent 5 years over at Oakland. You left Oakland and become the defense coordinator over here. Now in your second year here as head coach. I think it's pretty safe to say there's probably not anybody around that knows any more about Rutherford County football over the last decade. Would you agree with that?
I don't know how much I know, but I've definitely come from the same tree as a lot of people. I went to Oakland straight out of college from Austin P. I played for Coach Rankin in high school, and Coach McDaniel was on his staff, and he's the head coach at Oakland at the time, and was able to help me get employed with my first job as the Oakland Middle head coach, and did that for 3 years, and helped at the high school a couple of years before I was able to come over to Blackman as the weight room coach and defensive coordinator.
Well, Coach, the field looks great, man. Brand new field here at Blackman. Of course, you guys have swapped over the turf from natural. Have the kids, has it been much of an adjustment for them getting used to playing on the turf?
No, not really. I mean, I think at first, there might have been some shin splints and things like that they wasn't used to, but, they definitely enjoy it and they like it a lot better. It's the same every single day. A lot of things we don't have to worry about that we did have to worry about with grass, and we had a good grass surface, and we still do as our practice field, but we don't use it unless we have to.
Right.
So we're going to get our money's worth right here.
That's right. That's right. Well, Coach, you guys are coming off obviously a tough loss last week. I came over Saturday and watched the ball game against a team that's probably arguably one of the better teams in the state, if not the best. I thought your defense, on the defensive side of the ball, I think you played very well. Were you pretty happy with their effort on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think it was as good a game as we've probably played on defense since I've been here, considering the competition and the challenge that they presented. We was able to pretty much control the line of scrimmage. And in the passing game, they hit a few trick plays, but we was able to hold up in the red zone and bend and not break in those areas. And it was just a really, really tough, hard-fought game, and it was just great for the general high school football fan for sure.
Well, Coach, it looked like you guys were probably going to go into the half with that 14-3 lead. Then you had a breakdown in the kicking game. They got the kick return, cut the lead, kind of killed the momentum a little bit, I thought, heading into halftime. Was your special teams kind of a focal point for you guys this week after a couple of miscues?
Yeah, absolutely. We just the first game, there's a lot of weird things that happen, from that play that gave them life, a lot of life that they probably wasn't going to have going into halftime. In both teams, Malone overheated and wasn't able to return it running back, and they had some guys cramping, and we ended up getting down to our fourth punt returner, and it was his first time out and misjudged one, and we was able to get a stop after that, but just momentum and time and things like that. So many just plays that we got to clean up going into this game here, or we won't be able to change the result if we don't.
Right.
Well, Coach, Drew Beam had a bit of a rough outing there. I think he had 3 interceptions against you can't downplay that because Alcoa's defense is lights out. I think Coach Nix up there does an outstanding job with those guys. Are always prepared. But how has Drew practiced this week? You think he's bounced back, ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I think that's just the type of kid he is, and we obviously didn't do as well on offense as we wanted to, and they got something to do with that. Coach Nix has been around a long time with his staff and those kids, and they do a phenomenal job just entirely on the coaching staff. And we had to get back and just keep working on the fundamentals and getting better. And a lot of the blame always goes to the quarterback most of the time, but there's linemen that got to protect, receivers got to run the right route.
Exactly right.
Regardless, it's always the quarterback's fault. And his interceptions were usually third and longs.
Yeah.
It ended up being punts for us. He didn't try to do too many bad things in early downs. He took some sacks when he was supposed to. But yeah, I definitely expect him to bounce back and have a better game tonight. We got to get him going early, as coaches, and that's on us.
Mike Moulder and Lee Teat talking Blaze football with Blackman Head Coach Kit Hartsfield here on the Friday Main Event. Coach, you guys go from a very punishing, really smash mouth type offense you faced last week against Alcoa. I think maybe Ravenwood a little more finesse, a lot more active in the passing game. How much of an adjustment was it for you guys as far as your scout team goes this week as you prepared for Ravenwood?
Yeah, it's two completely different styles of play. Whereas Coach Rankin's a big, heavy tight end fullback offense, and everything's predicated off the run. Whereas Ravenwood is very spread, multiple with their formations and motions and adjust and their speed and their mismatches with the receiver going to two-lane who can absolutely fly. A tight end, it's 6'5", 6'6", and offensive tackle, and they just got weapons everywhere.
Right.
And they can run and throw. So it's definitely going to be a enormous challenge for the defense tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, last week, I mentioned I was here. I was impressed with Keontae Newsom last week. And, how important is it this week you reference getting Drew off to a quick start? I'm guessing a big part of that's going to be Newsom, Malachi Burns. Speak a little bit on that, and will we see Newsom in the Wildcat again?
Keontae's one of Drew's favorite targets, and he ended up spraining his ankle last week and kind of went down in the second half and couldn't help us much either. It wasn't bad. He's back. He's ready to go.
Right.
Dejon Gibson is another receiver that didn't play offense, who had been out with a groin for a couple of weeks, and we didn't even know if he'd get to play in the game. So he primarily played corner because that's what he's comfortable with when he didn't get to practice very much. We got to get Malachi more involved, being that big and versatile, and just do a better job all around to giving it to the athletes and giving them a chance.
Well, Coach, Alcoa, they had a very physical defensive line. They were actually getting some pressure, bringing 3 last week. I think a couple of other guys mentioned that. But, I mean, that's probably the best line I think you guys will face up till maybe Oakland. I think Oakland's going to be equally as physical up front. How did you feel your guys graded out last week up front, and do you see that as a strength for Ravenwood tonight, and how you guys match up with them?
Yeah, I mean, overall from last week, to answer the first question, I mean, up front, I thought, running the ball, we did well, especially when Malone was in, considering, the competition, as you just said. And, defending the run, I don't think I could have been any happier. I think they had 70 yards rushing, and 40 of that was on a reverse.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are things, you want to win in the trenches. And, I felt like it was just a battle all night long for both teams. And I think both teams probably were happy with some plays and probably disappointed in some. It's not going to be much easier tonight, if at all. They got players everywhere, length. They're very long. A couple of them picked up offers from South Carolina and LSU last night, and there's really too many to even keep up with.
Right.
I think just the challenge is their speed and length and athleticism, and being able to see if we can control the line of scrimmage and kind of use their speed against them, I guess.
Right. Well, speaking of Antonio Malone, he had a huge, 63-yard touchdown run, and I was amazed at a burst of speed that he showed.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really realize he was that fast. I mean, he
Yeah.
was pulling away. Talk a little bit about him, and has he been? Are you surprised that he did that, or?
Yeah, it's I knew he could run, but he hasn't gotten that in that flow quite yet, and that's probably why he got a little tired and not having good nutrition in that day and being a little hot earlier in the day. But yeah, he's a bowling ball. He keeps his legs driving,
Right.
Keeps him moving. He's really hard to tackle. And I think, he's a straight line speed guy. He's not going to do a lot of juking and all that stuff, but he's got the speed to run past you if you give him the chance.
Right.
Coach, you got a lot of talent over here, buddy. And me and Lee really looking forward to this game. I can't wait, man. I've been looking forward to it all week. But, man, really, we appreciate you guys letting us come over here and be a part of this. And wish you luck, man. And hopefully we can do this again before the season's up.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, and it should be another fantastic night for high school football with the top team in the state coming over here to Blackman. They ain't too far away, so hopefully it's a great atmosphere.
There you go. All right, that's Coach Kit Hartsfield, Blackman head coach. Again, we're here, Blackman High School, getting ready for Ravenwood to come over. Should be an excellent game between two quality programs and two great head coaches. Yes. Coach, we appreciate it.
Coach, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, Lee, let's cut to Blackman's schedule. We'll get Coach out of here, and we'll be back after this. Hello, folks. I want to talk to you a minute about CoachT.com. I am a member, a plus member actually, of CoachT.com. Hopefully, you guys are as well. I think most of you would agree. CoachT.com probably the best website, at least in Tennessee, if not the entire country. I think for high school sports, you can go there, and it doesn't have to be football. I mean, Coach T is a very involved website. You got baseball, softball, soccer, baseball. I mean, any high school sport you can think of is probably going to be talked about on CoachT.com. The plus membership, some of the advantages to being a plus member is you got access to a lot of different boards that you don't have as a regular member. And I'm going to put a screenshot up to show you some of that. But, yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits to being a Coach T Plus member. You can correct scores. You can correct schedules. Any discrepancies you find with your particular team you follow, you will then have the ability to correct that yourself. So you don't have to rely on somebody else getting all that fixed. You become the captain of your team. You're the guy. So a lot of benefits to CoachT.com plus membership. And probably the best thing about it, as of last year, it's now donation based. So whatever Coach T Plus is worth to you, you decide and you make that donation, and obviously you get the membership for 1 year, but that is 1 year. So be careful. Don't do like I did this year. I didn't realize my membership had expired. I went back and obviously anteed up, got back in, and I love Coach T. Love Coach T membership, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well. So go to Coach T. Go to the home page. There's a place there, a tab there. You can click on the plus membership. Make whatever donation you feel is adequate to justify your use of CoachT.com, and join us, man. Be a plus member. Of course, you get the symbol out beside your name to let other people know you're committed to the website, and I think it's a great thing, and we appreciate Jim Thompson jumping on with the Friday Minute event again this year, and I hope that you guys will take the time to join in with Lee and I as plus members here on Coach. All right, Lee Teat, we are back, and the banner's blowing on you, ain't it, buddy?
Oh, we're good.
Got a little bit of a breeze out here.
Hey, that's better than no breeze.
Tight quarters, but, man, this is it, man. Friday Minute event, we're out here at Blackman High School. Just got through talking to Coach Kit Hartsfield. Pretty excited about this game. I think he's pretty confident.
Big ball game.
Should be a good game, too. Really good quality teams playing. And we're going to go ahead and head over to East Tennessee. Lee, I got one of my favorite guys over in East Tennessee with us on. Maryville head coach Derek Hunt joins us. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, it's our pleasure, Coach. I've been a fan of yours since you've been there. I think you're 27-3. You begin your third season here at Maryville. You got a state championship to your credit already. A semifinal appearance last season. I think you won 3 state titles as a player, as a quarterback, numerous other titles. I'm just wondering, at what point are you going to run out of fingers to put all them rings on up there, Coach?
Well, we're very fortunate. I think David Ellis, our our longtime offensive line coach, he said it best. He said, you got to enjoy every one because you never know when it may not happen again. And so, it doesn't get old, and who knows if we'll get back again. We hope we do, and that's up to us.
Right.
Well, Coach, you guys got off to a great start last week with a shutout win over your crosstown rival there, William Blunt. Each team every year has a different dynamic. What was your early impressions of this 2019 team after your first outing?
Well, first thing, we had a really good senior group coming back. I think we had 30 seniors back on this year's team, and so that's a great starting point. One of our defensive coaches, Kenny Cobble, he always says, you go as your seniors go, and he would know. He was a head coach for a few years at Jeff County, and he's right. We're going to go as our seniors go, and so that's one thing we were really excited about this year. Is I felt like we had really good leadership from our seniors and all through the summer, and it's definitely carried over into the preseason, and obviously started with a great Week 1 win.
Well, Coach, you guys had a couple of different quarterbacks last year that took snaps. Of course, Braden Carnes transfers to Greenback. You still got Cade Chambers, a very quality kid, got college offers, is my understanding. How did he look in that game, and what's your expectations for him as far as leading this Rebel team this year?
Cade had a great night. He's had a great off season. He just really works hard. I mean, he's probably more of a football player than anything else. I mean, he's one of those kids that's a sophomore, was begging us to play receiver and safety, and
Just
I
get
think
on the
we
field.
got it right. I think we got it right keeping him at quarterback, but he had a great first week. We threw an interception on the first drive, and kid at William Blunt just made a heck of a play, really did.
Right.
And hats off to them. So, but he responded and had a really great night and had some big plays for us, and that was probably his only mistake of the night. So it was a really good night for him.
Well, Coach, speaking of Cade, I think he already has some offers from Austin Peay, Tech, UT Martin, Illinois State. Do you expect him to make his decision soon, or is he just going to be patient?
He did about a couple weeks ago. He committed to Indiana State.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
All right, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, it wasn't out there probably as much as some others are, but and that's just kind of who he is, and we respect that, obviously. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mike Mulder and Lee Teat talking Maryville football with head coach Derek Hunt here on the Friday Main Event. Coach, one other kid that I know already has committed, of course, that's T. Hodge. He'll be playing for my Vols up there. Can't wait to see him up on the hill. How has he looked so far this season?
He looks great. He put on a little more weight, all good weight. It's not like he got big. He's shredded. But he put on some good muscle this off season, and he got had just kind of a freak injury right there at the end of the year in the quarterfinal game last year with a broken leg.
Right.
And that was just kind of a fluke. You could watch it on film and see it, and so we're hoping that he can play a full season this year and stay healthy all year, and he's committed to doing that. He's such a mature kid. He takes great care of his body, and he plays really, really hard. But he's a big load.
Oh yeah.
And
he's a difference maker.
He's a difference maker. He's somebody that we'd be stupid not to rely on. And fortunately for us, we've got a lot of great players around him too. So we can try to stay balanced.
You must be reading my notes, Coach. In addition, to your solid run game there with T, you got a gifted duo of senior receivers in A.J. Davis and Ashton Maples. Speak a little bit about them and how important they're going to be for you on your trying to make a run to Cookville.
Huge. I mean, A.J., he kind of speaks for himself. He set our receptions record last year, and he's such a dynamic player. He can do a little bit of everything. And Ashton is has the size. He's a 6'4", lean, runs really well.
Right.
Can take the top off of a defense, give you a shot. Give you a chance to have a big play. So, and then I'd throw Brody Sloan in there too, our tight end. We kind of use him as an H-back, but he's kind of our Swiss Army knife. We move him a little bit everywhere, and he can do so many things. And we're really fortunate to have some talented and experienced players back on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, Coach, your defense really looked good last week in that shutout win. Zach Braden, DJ Burks, Mason Sheldon, Jackson Phillips, Seth Orn. These are a lot of kids you were expecting a lot out of. What overall? What was your impression of the defensive unit? You're pretty happy with how they played last week.
Yeah, I was thrilled, and I think our first of all, our coaching staff does an outstanding job. I mean, I can't say enough about them. They work so hard and well together. I think that's the biggest thing. We talk about checking our egos at the door each day, not caring who gets the credit, but it starts with the coaches, not just the kids. And so I thought they did a great job this preseason preparing our young guys on defense. We lost a lot on defense. Our whole secondary from last year, and then all but one on the defensive line. So,
wow.
There was a lot of inexperience there. But like I said, I thought our coaches have done an amazing job getting those guys ready to go. And we really performed well last week, and that'll be interesting to see kind of how we develop. That's what I'm excited about. But we've talked about it as a staff, that's what you coach for. You want to see guys develop, and there's so many guys I feel like at Maryville. There's so many kids that you don't know their name, until their senior year,
right.
And they come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're like, where'd he come from? Well, he's been waiting his turn, at Maryville, and he didn't leave us or quit us or anything. He worked really hard for 3 off seasons, and then when it was his turn as a senior, kind of came out of nowhere. And I think we've got some kids on our defense this year that fit that mold, and that's, in my opinion, that's a Maryville kid. Those are my favorite stories and ones we talk about for a long time.
I didn't give him our notes, Lee. I promise.
I think he's been. Somebody gave him our notes, Mike. I was just about to comment on that, Coach. What I like about your squad is there's a nice mix of upperclassmen to go with a really solid, I think, sophomore group of kids. And that's one of the keys to maintaining years of success. And you just spoke of, kid shows up one day in practice, you're like, where's he been? And, hey, he was a sophomore last year and he's been working his tail off. But,
that's right. Yeah.
Kudos to your staff and to the community, man, because
sure.
I think the kids at Maryville, especially up in that area, I think they're loyal to the community.
Sure. Well, it's definitely a special place. And there's some generational feel to it. Got fathers who have played here, whose kids are playing here, and that was me.
Mm-hmm.
That's my story. My dad brought me to games. He went to Maryville and brought me to games. When I was 7, 8 years old, and all my favorite players played for Maryville, and I wanted to play there, and I wasn't even that good. And so, so there's definitely a lot of that here. It's a very, very special place. We're spoiled, and we know it. And I hope it doesn't change. I really hope it doesn't change.
We're speaking with Maryville football head coach Derek Hunt here on the Friday Main Event. Coach, you guys have got a solid Bearden team coming to town. I think their quarterback, Colin Ironside, threw for over 300 yards, 4 TDs, and a very narrow loss to West last week. My sources over there tell me that you guys are going for Maryville's 800th win as a program tonight. How did Bearden look on film, and any concerns for you guys?
Yeah, they're impressive. And West is a really good team. I mean, they've got kids on defense that are committed to SEC schools.
Mm-hmm.
They do a great job. And so to take them into overtime and really have a chance to win it. I mean, they were down 2 or 3 scores and kind of fought their way back in it in the second half. They were the better team. I don't think there's any doubt about it. So,
right.
The quarterback Ironside he's special. I mean, he gets it out of his hands really quickly. He's a 4-year starter, so he's not going to be scared. And, he's been in these games before. And then they've got the receiver Candela, who plays receiver and outside linebacker for him. And he is a special talent. He's big physical receiver. I think he had 11 catches and maybe a couple scores last week. And so they do a really good job. Morgan Shinliver, their head coach, he's a Maryville guy. He played at Maryville.
Right.
I think he's taken Bearden to the next level the last 3 or 4 years.
I agree.
I honestly believe that they don't get enough credit for how good they are. And so, it's going to be tough. It's going to be fun, though. I mean, that's what we, a non-region game early on in the year. This is what we want. We want to see kind of where we're at.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, last week Bradley Central led a solid Farragut team for most of the game, or much of the game. Do you see them probably as your biggest threat in the region right now?
Yeah, maybe. It's just hard to tell, I think it's too early.
Yeah.
We didn't. You don't. I'll be honest. I haven't I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen anybody in our region play besides William Blount. So
Right.
I think on paper probably you'd guess that. I know that they've always had some really good players, and I think they got a quarterback in from maybe Macaulay.
Right.
That's a great athlete, and
Mm-hmm.
I have a really good friend that coaches at Bradley, and so I do think that they're going to be really good. But as far as being at the top of the region, who knows? We hope we're there at the end of the year, but there's a lot of football to play.
Well, Coach Hunt, as always, man, Lee and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us over here in Middle Tennessee. We look forward to seeing you again this year, and good luck to you this season. Hopefully we can hook up with you again before the year's up.
That sounds good, guys. I really appreciate all you do for us and for high school football. It's just awesome.
Hey, it's our pleasure, Coach, and good luck to you guys tonight.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right,
Yes,
thanks,
sir.
Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Lee Teat, Coach Hunt, man, definitely one of the best young coaches, I think, statewide. I don't think Maryville could have made a better choice to follow Coach George Quarles over there. Do you?
No doubt. And he had to get with his team there. They're getting ready to take the field in the Eastern time zone, so he had to. I would have loved to have talked to him about his off-season stuff that he's done this year. I've been sharing that video all over the place with
Costa Rica,
Costa Rica.
Yeah, it's like a mission trip, I think, wasn't it?
A missionary trip. So Coach Hunt's got his head screwed on right.
He
He's
does.
doing good by the community and by his players.
Good example for those
Yes, sir,
kids.
absolutely.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. I know they're happy to have him. I know a lot of fans over in Maryville, and they're tickled to death with him, and they should be.
That's right.
All right, Lee, let's cut to a commercial right quick, our only commercial. I didn't have time to do much this week, folks, but we got to cut to something where we can get the next coach on the phone. So you bear with us. We'll shoot you Maryville schedule so you can see that, and then we'll run that same commercial again, Lee.
That sounds
Hey,
good.
he's got a good-looking guy in it anyway. We'll be back after this. Hello, folks. I want to talk to you a minute about CoachT.com. I am a member, a plus member actually, of CoachT.com. Hopefully, you guys are as well. I think most of you would agree. CoachT.com probably the best website, at least in Tennessee, if not the entire country. I think for high school sports, you can go there, and it doesn't have to be football. I mean, Coach T is a very involved website. You got baseball, softball, soccer, baseball. I mean, any high school sport you can think of is probably going to be talked about on CoachT.com. The plus membership, some of the advantages to being a plus member is you got access to a lot of different boards that you don't have as a regular member. And I'm going to put a screenshot up to show you some of that. But, yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits to being a Coach T Plus member. You can correct scores. You can correct schedules. Any discrepancies you find with your particular team you follow, you will then have the ability to correct that yourself. So you don't have to rely on somebody else getting all that fixed. You become the captain of your team. You're the guy. So a lot of benefits to CoachT.com plus membership. And probably the best thing about it, as of last year, it's now donation based. So whatever Coach T Plus is worth to you, you decide and you make that donation, and obviously you get the membership for 1 year, but that is 1 year. So be careful. Don't do like I did this year. I didn't realize my membership had expired. I went back and obviously anteed up, got back in, and I love Coach T. Love Coach T membership, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well. So go to Coach T. Go to the home page. There's a place there, a tab there. You can click on the plus membership. Make whatever donation you feel is adequate to justify your use of CoachT.com, and join us, man. Be a plus member. Of course, you get the symbol out beside your name to let other people know you're committed to the website, and I think it's a great thing, and we appreciate Jim Thompson jumping on with the Friday Minute event again this year. And, I hope that you guys will take the time to join in with Lee and I as Plus members here on. All right, Mr. Teat, we are back here on the Friday main event coming to you from Blackman High School. Got Ravenwood Raptors headed over here, man. A couple of top 10 teams. A lot of talent, man. This may be the most talent we've seen on the field in a game for a long time, man. Maybe since the Cookville.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I'm looking forward to it. But we just got off with Coach Maryville's head coach Derek Hunt. I'll get it out in a minute, Lee. Over in East Tennessee, we typically try to go east-west and a couple in the middle. I couldn't think of anybody over in West Tennessee any better than our good friend Coach Rodney Saulsberry. Coach, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing fine. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Coach. I thought Lee and I, we might kind of take a little trip down memory lane with you. I think you've been the head coach there at Whitehaven for 15 years now. I think every year except for one since 2007, you guys have got to double digit in wins. You've been to 4 title games. You guys won 2 of them. Out of all those games, Coach Saulsberry, what game would you say was the most important to you and stands out to you?
Well, obviously that first state championship win versus Maryville sticks out, because anytime you achieve something for the first time, it's always satisfying. So to get that first state championship victory for our program was a landmark for the program. But most importantly, it's just a great feeling to be the great Maryville team, and what an exciting game it was.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, kind of on the same note there to follow that question up. You've had probably more talented kids come through your program down there at Whitehaven than any other program in the state, probably by far, in my opinion. Just talent all over the place. But if you could pick as a head coach or even as an assistant somewhere, who would you say is the best football player you've ever coached?
Well, Jesus, that's a loaded question. You trying to get me in trouble?
No. We were just curious.
We'll have Facebook and Twitter in an argument over that. But we've had some great ones. Obviously, I want to start with Mark Dotson, obviously being the leader of that team that led us to our first state championship. He would be one that we definitely in consideration. But he has some great teammates. I mean, it was, I believe, 7 Division I players on that team that won the state championship. So that just group of kids was a great talent. I have to mention Tenarius Wright, who was All-American at Arkansas. He was another great one that we had. And so just down the line, we've had some great ones. And I like to say, current ones on the team, Bryson Easton, that's in an argument to where he might stake a claim on being one of the best that we ever had as well. So, again, it's just a testament to the talent and to the community. Just keep turning out talent year after year.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we mentioned this off air before we got talking to you. You guys opened up with a 50-0 win over Hamilton. Obviously, you guys had them outmatched. Were you able to get some of your younger kids in that game, get them a little game experience last week?
Oh, definitely. We, you look for those opportunities to get the young guys a feel, because it's so different practicing and then playing under the lights and playing on a Friday night. Nothing like high school football in that nighttime, playing the game. So to be able to take care of business early, get those older guys out of the game, let the younger guys get their feet wet a little bit, will be a great test for us later on in the season. But unfortunately, we kind of got a gauntlet of a season lined up as far as the schedule goes. Right. Those opportunities may not present themselves a whole lot during the season, so it's great to get that done in the first week.
And I meant to, man, I forgot all about it. I was going to apologize to you. I meant to get down there and talk to you in Cookville last year, but I was up in the press box. I was calling that game, actually, that you guys played in. So you guys got packed up before I got down there after the post game. But what I wanted to ask you about, man, was you shocked at how good that Oakland defense was last year? Have you seen a defensive team as tough to move the ball against as that Patriot team was last year?
Well, they were a great team. They had a lot of talent, but we weren't shocked. We knew that they'll be well prepared. Mm-hmm. We just picked a bad day to have a bad game, and you can't. And at that stage, we just made too many mistakes, too many errors. But again, my hat goes off to Coach Creasy, having those guys ready to play, and they had a little chip on their shoulder, from that past game. beating them before in the state championship.
Right.
So it showed up. And again, them playing at their best and us not playing at their best, and the result showed. And that's what good teams do. When somebody doesn't play their best, you're supposed to beat them.
Right.
And they did. So we look forward to opportunity getting a chance to play them again.
Mike Mulder and Lee Teat talking with Whitehaven head coach Rodney Saulsberry here on the Friday main event.
Well, Coach, personally, I think as good as that Oakland defense was last year, I feel your Whitehaven defense this year could potentially even be better. With your three linebackers there, Eason, French, and McDonald, probably going to be listed on an SEC roster somewhere next year. Coach Harmon and yourself have got to be extremely excited about this defense.
Yeah, we are. We had again, the most important thing is they play together. They trust each other. They work well with each other, and we're just excited about the things that they bring to the table as cohesive unit. Anytime you're on a team, that's the most important part is chemistry.
Right.
And those guys, they play well together. A lot of them have played together for years, even as middle schoolers. And all the guys have just joined in and bought into one common vision. And that's what we call our defense. We say the ghetto defense, and it's GETO, getting everyone thinking as one. And we just kind of focus on that mentality. And they bought into it, and this group has a chance to be special. And we challenge them to that. We challenge them to that. So the old adage is defense wins championships, and if you can stop people from scoring, it's kind of difficult to lose if they don't score.
Right.
So we're hanging our hat on that side of the football, and we're excited about what those three guys can lead us to on defense.
And, Coach, we always talk about how much talent you put on the field there. Matter of fact, we were talking about it a little bit earlier and mentioned these three linebackers you got. How many kids on this roster have already got offers for to play at the next level?
I would say probably about 10 or so. Maybe it's crazy to lose count, but
it's easy.
It's just a luck.
It's easy for you.
Well, exposure is the number one thing, and that's what we tell our guys, that exposure is the key to everything. And our job and my job as a coach to make sure that I give them exposure to the programs, and it's their job to go out and perform. So
that's right.
With the help of some great parents, we just make sure that college coaches, they want to come through here. When they come to Memphis, they want to stop by. And as they come by and these guys do their job in the classroom and do their job on the field, opportunities and doors will open for them. So their success in the past has led to continued success in the future. And again, we're just trying to put a product on the field and let young men understand that they need to use football to get a further education and just to get benefits from it. Don't just let the game and play the game and let it use them.
Right.
So we're using football to get better opportunities educationally, and Lord willing, some of them will get to play in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Well, Coach, Cameron Sneed had a huge year for you last year, rushing the football with 1,400 yards. Will he be your workhorse again this year, or is he going to split time?
He'll be the workhorse, but we do have some young guys that'll also be sharing the load, so we can take a little bit of the load off of him. But most importantly, we got to get a bell count of football. So when we get a chance to give him a blow, we will.
Right.
Got a junior, Marcus Taylor, that'll get some carries. We got a senior linebacker that's also double dipping at running back, Charles Gregory, that's getting a few carries. Another junior, Jamal Frazier. And then we got some young guys, a sophomore, Darius Body, and a freshman, Tristan Taylor. That's going to be a special one. That'll all just kind of get some carries here and there.
Freshman.
Take some of that load off the Cameron.
Freshman.
Yes.
Wow. Good. Mike Mulder, Lee Teat, talking Tiger football with Whitehaven head coach Rodney Saulsberry here.
Well, Coach, you're hosting a Ridgeway team tonight that's coming off a loss to a very good MUS team. Coach Sutton does a real good job with that Roadrunner squad. What'd they look like on film this week?
Well, they're always going to be a physical team. They hang their hat on running the football. They're a power running team. They run a lot of counters, and they come right at you, and they have a nice offensive line. They always have size. So our guys got to come ready to play. So, again, they want to run the football, and our job is to stop the run. So it'll be a test of wheels tonight for us. And anytime anybody comes off a loss, they're going to have the coaches are going to have their attention even more. So we always get the best game out of Coach Sutton and Ridgeway. So we're expecting a great game out of the Roadrunners tonight. And Lord willing, we'll come out on top and we'll be able to accomplish our goal.
Right.
Well, Coach, I mentioned, you guys only have got 9 games on the schedule. And I know you got a trip to Arkansas, a trip to Mississippi, You travel over here to Middle Tennessee, play Brentwood Academy. Is this the most travel you've had to do in one season as a coach?
It is. I mean, having 3 out-of-town games, although we joke that although it's an out-of-state game, but South Haven is probably the shortest distance we have to travel because they're literally like 2 blocks away. I mean, so it's an out-of-state game, but it's not far in distance.
Right.
But yeah, this is crazy. You know, being in our league where we only have 4 teams and needing to find 7 games,
it's tough.
We got to find a better way. I mean, the scheduling is treacherous trying to find teams to play, and then in our case, and in Tennessee, in Memphis, Shelby County, our 1A and 2A teams are in 9-team leagues.
Right.
So you can't find games because they're all playing league games almost every week. So I don't know, but some have to give. We're still looking for an opponent for October 4th. If you know anybody, we can send send smoke signals out, or get a messenger bird or somebody to help us find a game for October 4th.
The Titans may have an open day that day. You can send the Titans over.
hey, we'll give it our best shot. Now, I coach Marcus Mariota in the All-Star game in high school. And
okay.
I don't know if I want to see him. I don't think I want to see him now, but any game will do.
There you go.
Well, Coach, Region 8, speaking of, you got 4 teams. Out of that 4 teams, though, you got 2 new coaches. Have you had a chance to speak with either Coach Farrell or Coach Yarborough yet?
Well, Coach Yarborough was on the staff previously at White Station, so I was familiar with him. We had talked, so I did kind of know him already. So that's I had some familiarity with Coach Yarborough. I hadn't had a chance to talk to the coach from Germantown as of yet. We talked on the phone, but I hadn't really had the time to really just get to know him much. So we're looking forward to it. Hopefully they have a good season, and that first year is a big adjustment in 6A football. So we wish them the best, and we'll see them all down the line, and hope we can welcome them to 6A a little bit and have a good quality competition.
Well, he had I think he had a pretty good career there at Lake Horn down in Mississippi. Do you? I mean, I don't know what they got coming back this year. Do you expect them to probably be your biggest competition over there in Region 8 or not?
Well, obviously with the new coaches, you don't know what to expect.
That's true.
And
good point.
they've had good years. They've had good years in the past, so we know that both White Station and Germantown have historically done well. So we expect them to be well coached and have a good season. But we anticipate Central, obviously, with Major Wright coming back as a coach and being a veteran coach to be the main competition. And again, in 6A football, you don't get any breaks because obviously the schools have a high population, so that means they should have some talent walking around the school building. So we anticipate all those final 3 games to be tough games against our region opponents.
Coach Saulsberry, Lee and I, man, we really appreciate you coming on with us. We always enjoy talking to you, man, and hopefully if you guys which way does it go this year? Do we travel to y'all, or do y'all travel to us there in that semifinal?
We travel to you all this year.
You travel to us, all right. Well,
that's kind of why we're being road warriors during the season, trying to prepare ourselves for that. Hopefully we can make it there.
There you go. That sounds like a plan. Well, Coach, if you guys get over here, man, we definitely want to hook up with you.
I look forward to it. Maybe that'll help change the tide if you make sure you meet with me.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. We'll make it a date, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
All right. Good luck tonight, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
see you, bud. All right. Lee, Coach Saulsberry, there hadn't been anybody, other than maybe a Maryville that's had more success over the last 10 years, 10, 11, 12 years. Like I said to him, since 2007, there's only been one season they didn't get into double-digit wins. And 2 of those seasons were 15-0 undefeated years.
Man, it is so crazy how many athletes are down in that area.
Oh, there's a ton of them.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
And he's kind of got a monopoly on them. And I think because of what he said, Lee, he gets exposure.
Yep.
They have a lot of college coaches come over, checking out what they're doing, and I think that helps him pull in a lot of talent.
Well, he takes care of his players.
He does. Yep. He does. He gives them exposure, and that's what they need, like he said. Yep. All right, Mr. Teat, let's go ahead and see. I don't see Coach Daniels. He told me he might be a little late. So what we'll do right here is we'll go ahead and play everybody's favorite commercial one more time. I'm sure.
We need to speak on Coach Teat. Thank you, Brother Jim.
Yeah. That's essentially, you hadn't been able to hear the commercial, but that's essentially what I'm saying. The Plus membership is a way to go. And we appreciate Jim Thompson and Coach T. And I spend a lot of time on that website, and I feel that it's only right that I show my appreciation by making a pledge there to.
Well, we had some discussion on our website and Facebook this week that came from his website.
We did.
Discussing preseason polls, and I like that. It just opens it up.
And that's our Facebook page, Lee.
Yeah.
Friday Main Event. You can search it on Facebook, and a lot of Coach T members are on our website, on our page on Facebook. We do a lot of conversation there, but not trying to take away from Coach T.
But Coach T conversation kind of spilled over.
Ties in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of spilled over into some of our conversation this week on some preseason polls and things like that, and that's always good to get people talking about high school football. I think it generates that excitement.
Got into a pretty good debate over
that. But it needs to be there. It's good for it.
Yeah, it is.
Healthy.
I mean, it's good, healthy conversation. And people that missed it, we were discussing the fact that we don't, or at least I don't feel all the AP writers put the homework in to when they do their voting. I mean, I'm just being straight honest. I mean, when you got a team that's 0-2 and they get a first place vote, the argument on the flip side was, well, they haven't played anybody in class.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's true. They did. They played a 3A and I think a 4A team, but these weren't Alcoa they were playing, and they got beat badly. And we're talking about Whitwell. I'll go ahead and tell you we're talking about Whitwell. And you and I are huge Whitwell fans.
Yes.
I wasn't saying anything against Whitwell. Matter of fact, you and I drove 150 miles last year
to watch a scrimmage.
At Whitwell.
Right.
I mean, we love Whitwell. We love the folks at Whitwell.
Yep.
My only point is I don't feel that they were worthy of a first place vote right at this point in the season.
Right now.
And I don't really see how anybody can argue that. I don't think anybody at Whitwell would make a legitimate argument as to that. Are they worthy of top 10? Yeah, maybe, sure. I can buy that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know how you can vote them ahead of South Pittsburgh, Huntington. I mean, I don't really see how. If you call yourself a legitimate a press guy, AP guy, I don't know how you can vote Whitwell at 0-2 ahead of a Huntington team that has just been dominating. I don't know. I don't get it.
Right.
But that's what the debate was all about. So.
Yeah, but it was healthy.
It was healthy. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything harsh.
Somebody may bring to the table another argument or another point that we don't see.
Right.
And bam. Now my opinion changes, so that's why it's out there.
I mean, it was a good, clean argument. Wasn't anybody getting upset, but, that was our side of the argument.
Yes.
I don't think. And my point was, Lee and I, we work in maintenance at Nissan as a paying job.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a hobby.
Yep.
If you were to come and tell me there are maintenance men at Nissan that aren't as good as they need to be, I would say you're darn right.
Yeah, that's right.
So, that's part of it. I mean, whatever your occupation is, there are going to be some people that don't put as much work into it as others. And that was our point.
That's right.
One guy got a little offended by it, and.
Well, I don't know that he was offended.
I think he was offended.
You think so?
Yeah.
I was
reading it that way.
Yeah, I don't know that he was offended. I think he was just passionate about his side of it.
Yeah, maybe so. He was wrong, but he was passionately wrong.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I shouldn't have said that.
Nah, it's all good, man. Like I said, it's a good, healthy debate.
It was a good, healthy debate.
That's all it is.
But that.
And I want that dude chime right back in, man. Stay engaged. That's what it's about.
Well, let's circle the wagons. What started this conversation was CoachT.com.
That's right.
If you like that kind of conversation, you like that kind of debate, you like information about your teams, go to CoachT.com. Other teams, exactly. All sports.
That's right.
I mean, it's a great website. I love it, man. I was tickled to death that he got on with us last year and decided to stay with us this year.
Right.
So, anyway, Lee, I'll get off the soapbox a little bit there. We won't charge him any extra for that extra advertising there. Oh, we ain't charging him anything. I'm sorry. But Lee, let's play Whitehaven's schedule. Let them see the schedule, and then we'll play a little Coach T commercial. Give me a chance to get a drink. Give you a chance to get a drink.
Right.
If Coach Daniels isn't here when we get done, we'll go ahead and roll into our big games.
Sounds good.
And then we can always bounce back when he gets here.
That's right.
All right, Mike Mulder and Lee Teat, and we are the Friday Main Event, and we'll be back right after this. Hello, folks. I want to talk to you a minute about CoachT.com. I am a member, a plus member actually, of CoachT.com. Hopefully, you guys are as well. I think most of you would agree. CoachT.com probably the best website, at least in Tennessee, if not the entire country. I think for high school sports, you can go there, and it doesn't have to be football. I mean, Coach T is a very involved website. You got baseball, softball, soccer, baseball. I mean, any high school sport you can think of is probably going to be talked about on CoachT.com. The plus membership, some of the advantages to being a plus member is you got access to a lot of different boards that you don't have as a regular member. And I'm going to put a screenshot up to show you some of that. But, yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits to being a Coach T Plus member. You can correct scores. You can correct schedules. Any discrepancies you find with your particular team you follow, you will then have the ability to correct that yourself. So you don't have to rely on somebody else getting all that fixed. You become the captain of your team. You're the guy. So a lot of benefits to CoachT.com Plus membership. And probably the best thing about it, as of last year, it's now donation-based. So whatever Coach T Plus is worth to you, you decide and you make that donation. And obviously you get the membership for 1 year. But that is 1 year. So be careful. Don't do like I did this year. I didn't realize my membership had expired. I went back and obviously anteed up, got back in, and I love Coach T. Love Coach T membership, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well. So go to Coach T, go to the homepage. There's a place there, a tab there. You can click on the Plus membership, make whatever donation you feel is adequate to justify your use of CoachT.com, and join us, man. Be a Plus member. Of course, you get the symbol out beside your name to let other people know you're committed to the website. And I think it's a great thing, and we appreciate Jim Thompson jumping on with the Friday Men event again this year. And, I hope that you guys will take the time to join in with Lee and I as Plus members here on Coach T. Hello, folks. I want to talk to you. All right, Coach, Lee, I actually started playing it over a little bit there. wasn't paying attention. I looped it. Mike Motor and Lee Teat, Friday main event. We are back here. No Matt Daniels. He's on the way. We just text him. 5 minutes away, he says.
Yeah,
so
that'd be fine.
Mr. Teat, what I propose we go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and get in our big games. We've got 25 big games we discuss every week here on the Friday main event. Maybe not the 25 biggest games in a lot of their opinions, but I feel pretty confident we've got 5 games or 25 games of interest anyway.
Oh yeah, but maybe some of the toughest to pick. Man, I did horrible last week. I think I got like 64, 68%, something.
Yeah, what'd you tell me when I got on you, man? What'd you say? I had 75%. I said, buddy, your math's terrible.
Come on, I was 6 or 7% off, man.
Yeah,
I rounded up.
I think you actually did better than me if that says anything. That tells you how bad I did.
Let's see how we do this week.
Yeah, I think we'll do better. This is a shot of the field, Lee. Beautiful field, man. This new turf is I like the colors, the blue and orange. It really kind of stands out. So we'll be able to watch the teams warm up here as we do the show. But I love it. I think it's going to be a heck of a game.
I think so too. It's going to be interesting.
Going to be very interesting. Well, brother, are you ready to get with it?
Let's roll.
All right, well, let's start at number 25, Lee. I got it at 25. It's over in West Tennessee, and it's a 4A versus a 5A, but it's two teams undefeated.
East.
What did I say?
West.
Oh, I'm sorry, East, yeah. Yeah, Powell and Anderson County in the
East.
East. Excuse me. Keep me straight there, brother.
Yeah, you're all right.
Anderson County, 26-0 win over Clinton last week, Lee. And then, of course, Powell had the 19-17 win over the three-time defending Class 4A state champion Greenville Green Devils. What a ball game, man. I actually picked Powell. Which way did you go on that one?
We went Powell.
You went Powell too?
Yeah.
So we got that one. That was one of the 4 or 5 we got right last week.
Right.
But I think this game right here, I want to say it's close. It's 42-7. Anderson County won this game in 2014, Lee. That's the last time these two
Right.
teams played. And ironically, they're only 14 miles apart, so I was kind of surprised, that they hadn't played more often. But, like I say, back September 26, 2014 was the last meeting. It has no bearing on the game tonight, obviously. But Matt Lowe is now back at Powell, and that does have a bearing. He wasn't there in 14.
I think something that's interesting about this game tonight is, obviously that was an emotional win last week over Greenville. Broke a 30-game win streak. Is that right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's correct.
That's a huge victory for Powell. You get up for that ball game. You're stoked. I'd be interested to know if they were flat this week in practice or not. But another thing too, man, is they had combined penalties last week was a lot. So I'm sure Coach Lowe's worked on maybe trying to cut down on the penalties a little bit. But this may be a little closer ball game. In my opinion, I like Powell to win, but I think it's going to be a fairly close ball game myself.
Well, there was no brawl this year when Clinton and Anderson County played. If you remember last year, they had some heated words. I think there was some suspensions, but apparently that game was pretty clean this year. So Anderson County will be at full force.
Right.
I'm leaning toward Powell, even though I understand what you're saying. You could potentially see a letdown, but I like Powell. Powell is just eat up with talent this year, Lee, and I like them. I think they have a really good shot at winning Region 3, especially after Fulton got just blasted last week. I didn't see that game coming. So,
yeah, I think I'm going to go with Powell, but I think it's going to be.
I think Oak Ridge got beat too, didn't he, Lee?
They did.
So, that was a region we felt was just going to be dominant. Two of the top three dogs there. Of course, West did win, and I think like Coach Hunt mentioned, West is stout. So I think right now you'd probably have to say Powell and West, maybe the top two teams from based on week one.
Right, I agree.
So we're going Powell. In Hendersonville and Giles County, Lee. That's our number 12. Sorry, some lady was.
She was taking a picture of it. She's going to tweet it out that we're at the field.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought she's telling us to move or something.
No, she's doing us a favor, bro.
All right. Well, we need it.
That's right.
Hendersonville and Giles County, Lee. I've got that as our number 24 game. I don't know that these teams have ever met. I couldn't find any record. I looked back to 2001, didn't see any record.
I don't know, man.
They're 93 miles apart, so they're not real close. So, I don't know that there was any reason why they would have ever played.
Buddy, what do you read into this absolute boat race by Oakland last week? Hendersonville.
Hendersonville only had 117 total yards of offense, and it's like I was telling Coach Hartsfield. This Oakland defense is strong, man. I don't really want to read too much into that game as far as Hendersonville goes because I don't even know if this Oakland team gets scored on this year, Lee.
Man,
Can you believe that?
It's very possible.
Because they had a shutout in the semifinal against Maryville last year, and, of course, Teat Hodges was out. Then they shut out Whitehaven. Now they've shut out Hendersonville. That's 3 in a row. When does it end?
Well, this game tonight, it's at Giles, correct?
That's correct.
At Giles County. That's always a tough place to play. It's a long trip for them.
It is.
I think they get on the board tonight for sure. I think they will score on Giles County. But Giles County's coming off a big victory last week over Lincoln County. I picked Lincoln County.
I did too.
So I really don't know which way to go in this. I think it may be a somewhat close ball game. But I'm going to have to go tonight, Mike. I think Hendersonville may rebound tonight.
That kind of explains a lot of the reason why our picks aren't as good as what you would think, Lee. We're all these are hard games. We don't have any,
cupcakes.
If it's a real obvious winner, it's not on our list. Yeah. So, I think that kind of explains your bad record. At least that's what I'm going to say anyway.
Yeah, well, appreciate it.
But
appreciate you rubbing in my bad record.
I'm going to go in. No, I had a worse record than you did. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go Hendersonville. But this game wouldn't surprise me any if it went in the other direction. I think Giles is a solid team and surprised me quite honestly last week.
Me too.
So, and they're at home, tough place to play. So wouldn't be shocked if Hendersonville did get beat, but I'm going to pick them to win this one. Commandos.
All right.
Lee, let's go our number 23 game, and we haven't even been saying what our Twitter vote was. 57% of the Friday Main Event followers, and, of course, that's Tennessee Sports on Twitter. We put a poll up for all 25 games every week. 57% of the Tennessee Sports followers like Powell, 65% like Hendersonville, so I think we learned from last week, Lee. We went against our followers last week. Didn't do too good.
Well, I called out one of them. I told you 68% of them was wrong.
Yeah.
I got that one right.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, nah, they know more than I do.
Yeah. It's they did last week for sure.
That's right.
Franklin County, Lee, head over to Rockville. First meeting between these two teams. Second game, varsity game for Rockville, a new program over there. Of course, Rick Rice got beat last week in their opening game, 44-20 by Laverne. Franklin County was able to pull ahead of Coffee County. They were actually down in that game, came back, won it, 42-20 was the final in that game. Bad news for Franklin County.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Terrible.
Riley Engel out for. I was talked to Coach McCurry. Riley Engel out for the season. Injury last week.
Senior, too. First game of the year, man.
Isaiah Sis stepped in there in the third quarter and took the snaps behind center. Did a good job. So they had him all week getting, kind of preparing him for this position. Tough one. I think I'm going to, despite, I think we got the man here.
Yeah. Who you going to go with this real quick?
I'm going to go Franklin County.
I'm going to go Franklin County for one reason. I think Taj Taylor and Dakota Wagner run tonight. Run wild.
I like that too. Let's bring Coach Matt Daniels on in here. Coach, slide on in, buddy. We'll get you mic'd up here.
There you go, Coach.
And I'm going to go ahead and play his schedule, Lee. All right, we are back here Friday Main Event. We got head coach Matt Daniels here with us. Had a good trip over, I hope, Coach.
Not too bad.
Well, we're really excited about this, man. You're starting your third season there at Ravenwood. I think the first year the Raptors reached the quarterfinals. Last year, semifinals against Whitehaven. Do we make that progression? Do we get to the title game this year?
That's the hope. I know some people are assuming that, but that's not. That doesn't always happen that way. But our players are dialed in, and that's certainly the goal.
Uh-huh.
Well, Coach, I think you played your high school football down in Texas, and obviously, man, I know one of my best friends is from the Houston area, Cypress.
Yep.
Man, it's a hotbed for college football talent down there. But, comparative to Tennessee, how do you think Tennessee teams stack up? Obviously there's not the numbers, but
right.
What do you think's the difference between here and there as far as coaching aspects?
Well, I think that they're all in down there. I think they've got in all these independent school districts, they've got a lot of funds and money that goes towards athletics, tax dollars, and I think they're onto something, because they also have great academic public schools as well.
Right.
So I was a graduate of South Lake Carroll, pretty big powerhouse outside of Dallas, and everybody was in support of both academics and athletics as well as fine arts, and it was well-rounded. So they're doing it the right way down there as far as that's concerned with resources and funding. But, the kids, they start playing at an early age. They start going and watching these guys and look up to these guys. So it's a culture.
Right.
When I moved to Middle Tennessee, I was pleasantly surprised. I think we're on the right track here. I think the atmosphere at Friday night games is getting to the point where it's going to rival, Texas games on Friday nights. But like you said, it's just the sheer numbers. They've got stadiums down there that seat 20,000. And yeah. My last game in high school, there was 45,000 people at our state semifinal game.
That's crazy.
Yep.
We don't even get that for the title games up in Coolvoice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, you guys opened last week a very convincing win over a solid Centennial squad. What was your takeaway from the game? Were you pretty happy with the Raptors? See any areas that maybe you need to improve upon?
Early in the season, too many penalties. So I'll always can improve on that. We almost expect that. But I was really proud of our fast start. We've emphasized that all offseason and trying to start fast and, put the foot on the gas from the opening whistle. And we did that on both sides of the ball. So I was very happy with that. And we need to continue to do that tonight. If you don't start fast against a Blackman team, I think you get in trouble early.
Good point. Keep them around, yeah.
Well, Coach, obviously the top recruit in the state, Reggie Grimes, transfers over. Immediately he's ruled ineligible. Appeals process takes place. He gets back eligible. I've had the opportunity to see Reggie when he was at Mount Juliet a couple times there. Speak on him this year, and how he's going to contribute for you. You going to play him in kind of the same role that he was doing there, or are you going to free him up to get off a little more?
Well, from a football standpoint, obviously he's a specimen and can do a lot of different things on the field. So from the defensive standpoint, he's going to get a chance to put his hand in the ground. He's also going to get a chance to play in space and
right.
kind of use his versatility there. Also going to give him a shot to carry the ball a little bit on offense. He's learning our offense. There's a little bit more of a learning curve with that, running a similar defense to what he was used to at Mount
right.
Juliet. So he's comfortable there. But from an off-the-field perspective, a locker room guy, he stepped right in as a senior leader and felt comfortable with the other guys and contributing from a leadership standpoint. So I can't say enough about that. I was very pleasantly surprised, and he's just been a really good kid to have around.
Mike Moulton and Lee Teat talking to Ravenwood head coach Matt Daniels here on the Friday Main Event. Coach, one of the first things you did a couple of years ago when you took that job was you made a decision there, I think, second game. You decided to go with a young, inexperienced sophomore quarterback. Brian Garcia has done a phenomenal job for you guys. Talk a little bit about him and what he's meant to that Raptor program.
He's a guy that we use the word a lot, moxie, throw that around with quarterbacks specifically and guys who just have that it factor. And we could see that even as a young, undersized guy as a sophomore. And he's a guy that's never going to give you the deer in headlights looks. He's a competitor. And we knew really he got a chance that first game, his sophomore year. He came in, threw one pass and completed a touchdown. He was 1 for 1 for a 17-yard touchdown. So
pretty good start.
Pretty good start. Gave him a shot the next week. Got our first win under our belt in a shootout against Siegel, and from there, kind of the rest is history. And he's put this offense on his shoulders, and I was really proud of him last week. Actually, I told him, I said, that's probably your best game you've played here the last 3 years because he didn't try to do too much, and he let the game come to him, and he was extremely efficient and still put up numbers. And so it's kind of nice to see that next step of maturity
Absolutely.
happening.
Coach, I know you guys got hired Coach Grimes as a D coordinator there in the off season, but also know Coach Fowler had been with you since you took the job. Is he still on your staff?
Yeah, so Fowler, it actually was kind of cool how it worked out. Fowler had to go take care of some business and was actually doing another career out in North Carolina, and things worked out that within the last month he's been able to rejoin the staff as a linebackers coach. So having him and Grimes on staff,
that's
two
pretty
guys
good,
that
brother.
are former NFL players, two guys that are extremely intense, a lot of knowledge, great relationships with the kids. So it's, we feel really, really good about our staff this year.
Absolutely.
Coach, let me tell you what, man. One kid that I'm pretty excited to see tonight is Jake Brennenstuhl. 6'6", 215 tight end, 28 college offers already. Just a junior. What should we expect out of him tonight? But not so much tonight, but what do you expect out of him going forward?
Yeah.
Well, what we've seen and what we've challenged him to do this offseason is become a better blocker. As a sophomore, he was under 200 pounds
right.
and still had the length and natural receiving ability was there, but challenged him to be a physical kid this year, and man, have we seen that. In practice, he's taking pride now in pancake blocks and knockdowns, and that's good to see, and I'm sure the colleges are drooling even more
exactly
now
right.
at that. So when you can be that two-way tight end that can do both and, line them up in line and split them out and make them a matchup nightmare, it's a good thing. So I want to see him continue to take pride in that blocking and that physical aspect and kind of that old-school tight end mentality.
One thing I was talking about him, his frame – obviously, man, that kid can probably pack on 35, 40 more pounds and still be an athlete.
Yep.
So you got to be excited for him,
sure. Yeah,
so.
I told somebody probably within the first 3 months that he was in our program, I said, this could be the next Gronkowski.
That's right.
And now, 8 months later, it's
a lot of teams are seeing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Coach, this Raptor team, I feel, has got, as much D1 talent as any team. You're loaded, just to be quite frank. Talk a little bit about, maybe some kids that us in the media haven't heard a lot about, but they're going to be essential to you guys if you hope to make it up to Cookeville this year.
Right, absolutely. We've got a ton of unsung heroes. One of those guys, Miles Dawson, plays nose guard. We bump him out to defensive end occasionally. He's getting recruited to play some linebacker. So just a pure athlete. His dad played receiver in the NFL, so he's got a little pedigree there, but extremely technically sound with his hands along the D-line. He's able to split double teams with guys that weigh 80, 90 pounds heavier than him. So Miles had a huge game for us last week against Centennial, 2.5 sacks, 5 tackles, couple tackles for loss. So he's been great, man. He's been playing football for about 14 months. So watching him grow and become a better player is really cool. He helps anchor that line. Avery Miller is kind of the captain of the defense. Mike linebacker has been seeing some serious time for the last 3 years.
Right.
And, he's a guy that he's the glue that holds everything together on defense, making the calls, making the checks, et cetera. So a couple of those guys there. And then, honestly, on offense, Tony Rice, I think, is one of the most underrated running backs. Kid runs hard, very difficult to tackle, has speed that I think people totally underestimate. So another really good skill guy we have on offense that I think kind of flies under the radar.
Right. Well, we're talking Raptor football with head coach Matt Daniels here. Coach, you got a really good Blackman team tonight. A lot of talent on that side of the field as well. They lost probably Alco, I think, probably top 2 or 3 teams in the state, all classes. You see anything on film that caused you a little distress? Maybe you may have some matchup issues.
Well, I just think Rutherford County traditionally has big physical football teams. And,
right.
Maybe people think about Williamson County as more finesse, and that's fine. We have a little of that, but at the same time, I think this is probably the first year that physically we can match up with many teams in the state. So, I think it's a good time for this matchup for sure, and I think both teams are excited about the atmosphere tonight. And regardless of what happens, I think both teams are going to benefit from seeing a game like this early in the year.
Coach, Lee and I really appreciate you joining us, man. We're really happy to be covering this guy. I'm excited to watch it, man. I ain't gonna lie. We picked it just so we could watch this game. So
good. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we can do it again. If you guys make it further in the season, postseason, I'd like to get you on in the postseason with us.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Good talking to you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Lee. Enjoyed that. I appreciate Coach Daniels talking to us here.
Thank you, man.
And I think we're in for a good one over here, brother.
Dude, I think so, too.
Lee, let me cut to this commercial. Let's play this favorite commercial, everybody's, one more time, and then we'll come back and we'll talk games. I need to get resituated. I'm in the sun, man. I'm sweating over here.
Want to try to...
I'm going to try to swing around a little bit and get out of the sun.
I got you, bro.
All right. Mike Motor, Lee Teat, we'll be back after this. About CoachT.com. I am a member, a plus member, actually, of CoachT.com. Hopefully you guys are as well. I think most of you would agree. CoachT.com, probably the best website, at least in Tennessee, if not the entire country, I think, for high school sports. You can go there, and it doesn't have to be football. I mean, Coach T is a very involved website. You got baseball, softball, soccer, baseball. I mean, any high school sport you can think of is probably going to be talked about on CoachT.com. The plus membership, some of the advantages to being a plus member is you got access to a lot of different boards that you don't have as a regular member. And I'm going to put a screenshot up to show you some of that. But, I mean, there's so many benefits to being a Coach T Plus member. You can correct scores. You can correct schedules. Any discrepancies you find with your particular team you follow, you will then have the ability to correct that yourself. So you don't have to rely on somebody else getting all that fixed. You become the captain of your team. You're the guy. So a lot of benefits to CoachT.com plus membership. And probably the best thing about it, as of last year, it's now donation based. So whatever Coach T Plus is worth to you, you decide and you make that donation. And obviously you get the membership for 1 year, but that is 1 year. So be careful. Don't do like I did this year. I didn't realize my membership had expired. I went back and obviously anteed up, got back in, and I love Coach T. Love Coach T membership, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well. So go to Coach T, go to the homepage. There's a place there, a tab there. You can click on the Plus membership, make whatever donation you feel is adequate to justify your use of CoachT.com, and join us, man. Be a Plus member. Of course, you get the symbol out beside your name to let other people know you're committed to the website, and I think it's a great thing, and we appreciate Jim Thompson jumping on with the Friday Men event again this year. And, I hope that you guys will take the time to join in with Lee and I as Plus members. All right, Lee Teat, we are back, brother, and I'm not trying to do the gun show here, but I'm sweating, brother, and it just is what it is.
I'm getting hungry.
I'm getting hungry, too. We got a lot of food over here. Friday Main event here from Blackman High School. Lee Teat, Mike Mulder. We are talking high school football, and it's humid, Lee, and it's hot.
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
I think it's this turf. Didn't you say it kind of magnifies the heat?
Does. It comes off of it pretty
Why
hard.
in the heck did you let me sit up on this turf then?
Well.
Us fat guys, we sweat real easy. You forgot that, didn't you? All right, Lee, we were talking big games. We got Franklin County. I like Franklin County, and you did as well,
yeah,
correct?
I think Dakota Wagner and Taj Taylor get yards tonight.
I think so, too.
But, Rockville, don't panic. You got a good coach.
Time's coming, right?
Time's coming.
No doubt. Lee, at number 22, we got Greenville at Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone, 30-6 winner over Sullivan South. Of course, Greenville had that streak broken, losing to Powell 19-17. Greenville don't have a lot of starters back. Is that coming from the press box? Wow. Hopefully, I think they'll be able to hear us.
Oh, yeah, we'll be all right.
Greenville doesn't have a lot of starters back, Lee, but they've had some kids that have transferred in. Drew Gray, the quarterback from Knox Catholic, transferred in. I think Greenville's going to be all right, despite the fact they don't have a lot of starters back. Boone, 8 starters back on offense. They looked good, putting 30 points up last week. What's your thoughts on this one?
I think Greenville gets it done. I think they're going to rebound. Probably had I'm sure Coach Hammond got his first game under his belt as a head coach last week. But you know what? I like young blood. He's still got plenty of talent. They're not hurting, so I'm gonna go Greenville.
I like Greenville as well, Lee. I'm gonna take the Green Devils to rebound. Number 21 game on the list, Lee. We got Huntington. The Mustangs travel to Waverly Central. New head coach Randall Bolden lost 22-13 in his debut to Camden Central, a good Camden team.
That's right.
7 starters back on both sides of the ball. And, of course, Huntington was a team we were really high on in 1A. Coach Swenson, our buddy over there, has a ton of talent. Brandon Lawton, the running back, had a big game last week. Lee Teat, I think he had 197 yards rushing on 9 carries, averaged 22 yards a carry. And then look at Hunter Inslee, the quarterback. Yeah. He rushed for 198 yards, also a 22-yard average per carry. He had 3 touchdowns. What do you see happening in this one?
Oh, man, this was one that kind of gave me a little trouble this week. But I like Huntington. I do. I think Coach Swenson, he keeps the game short because they run the football, keeps the clock moving, and he can score in a hurry. And, man, I hate it because I like Coach Bolden, and, we like Waverly.
Oh, yeah, I love Waverly, no doubt.
But I think Huntington may have a little too much tonight.
I'm going to agree with you, Lee. I think Huntington beat McKenzie 42-7 last week, Lee. Right. 502 total yards of rushing.
Yep. Buddy, they're stacked.
They're stacked, man.
For a 1A squad, they got some studs.
88% of our Coach T, our Twitter followers like Huntington. I'm going to go with the gang. I like Huntington. This may sound crazy, Lee, but I think it's probably a 14-point game.
Could very well be.
Yeah, maybe more. I think Huntington's that good.
I do.
And I'm not knocking Waverly again, but Huntington is just eat up, man.
Yep.
Maplewood and East Nashville, Lee, our number 20 game. This looked like a more attractive game before last week, in my opinion, because
Right.
I never saw a 42-0 beatdown of Smyrna by East Nashville. Did you?
Oh, no, I had Smyrna.
I did too.
I picked Smyrna, 6A versus a 3A. I thought it would be a tight ball game.
Yeah, I did too.
But I didn't see the 42-0 beatdown. But I'll tell you what, East Nashville, I talked to some people that were at the ball game, and they said the athletes that East Nashville had are legit. That was the word, legit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with East Nashville and probably fly with the Eagles tonight.
Yeah, Yukari Blanchard, Lester Shaw, Tyler Fletcher. They all looked. I don't know what's his problem.
Oh, he was asking me, was we going to be here the whole game? No.
We got AD's permission. He needs to chill out, don't he? Mr. Lawless told us we could sit up here.
Yeah.
Lee, I like East Nashville. Maplewood, our Sente Bruins team, very few starters back off that region champion team last year. They did lose to East Nashville last year, 24-20, with that senior talent. So you got to imagine it's going to be a lot worse this year, given what East Nashville's got. I'm going with East Nashville to win this one.
Yep.
Houston and Memphis Central, game over in West Tennessee. Lee, we've been really high on Houston, maybe higher than a lot of other folks. Lincoln Parr is one reason why, 266 yards rushing last week, scored 3 TDs in that 36-12 win over South Haven. Memphis Central was a team that Coach Saulsberry is pretty high on. What's your thoughts on this one?
Man, I tell you what, Mike, I'm going to go with Memphis Central in this game. I know 63% of the Twitter followers are going with Houston, and rightfully they should, probably with Lincoln Parr. That guy's phenomenal. What did he have last year? 2,200 yards?
Yeah.
30-something TDs. But I like Memphis Central at home. I like Darren Turner. And I tell you, I'm just going to go with Memphis Central. I think they bounce back this week.
I can see it, man. I think this is going to probably be the best game over in West Tennessee. That's why we've got it on the list. But I'm going to go with Houston, man. I'm going to go with the Friday main event Twitter followers. I like them. 63% like Houston. I'm going to go with them. Farragut, Lee hosts Knoxville West. West is a really, really good ball team. The Rebels, led by Lamar Brown, I think that's a team about ready to break out. Wouldn't surprise me a bit to see them knock Farragut off tonight. 88% of our followers disagree with that. They like Eddie Courtney's Admirals. What's your thoughts on the game?
I'm going to go Farragut because they're at home, and I like Matt White, the tailback there at Farragut. Had a huge ball game last week against Bradley Central. But, man, West could roll in there. They beat a really good Bearden team.
They did.
You heard Coach Hunt talk about Bearden. He said they're probably underrated as any team in the state. Man, about to talk myself out of it. I'm gonna go Farragut.
I'm gonna go Farragut also. I wasn't real strong on them preseason because they lost a lot of their key players. They lost Kyle Carter, 1,500 yards rushing. I thought that would affect them more than what it did. But they look good against Bradley, a really good Bradley team. Matt White at Farragut actually rushed for 190 yards and 2 scores last week, so I think they got that position filled. I like Farragut. I think Farragut wins this one. Tullahoma and Coffee County, the Coffee Pot game, Lee Teat. This is a big, long-standing rivalry. These guys have played for years. Actually got a name for the rivalry. They call it the Coffee Pot game. It's a trophy they actually pass back and forth to the winner each season. Tullahoma won this game 48-8 last year. Coffee County's been down for many years, to be quite honest, Lee. They're hoping that Doug Green's able to get things turned around. They led Franklin County for a lot of that game last week. So do they give Tullahoma any competition? What do you see?
I think they do. One thing that concerns me for Tullahoma is the rushing game right now, rushing attack. We obviously we like Fulton at the quarterback spot there. Ben Fulton, he's a very intelligent senior leader. I think they got to get the run game established.
Yeah, that was they had issues with that, Lee, the other night against Shelbyville.
Yeah, I think they got to get the run game established. But I tell you what, Coach Green, I think he's kind of got his hands cut out for him. A hard time right now because he's got to teach his Coffee County kids how to win, how to finish a game. I don't know that he's there yet, so I'm going to go with Tullahoma.
I'm going to go with Tullahoma also, Lee, but I do agree with you. They don't have a Bryson Corn back there in that backfield this year that can take over a game. They got to find that guy. I think John Olive will eventually find that guy. His son's the offensive coordinator there. Jerry does an excellent job. I think Tullahoma is going to be very competitive now that Maplewood obviously may not be as strong as we initially thought. I think this region, Tullahoma looks really good. I've heard Marshall County looked really good. So I'd kind of put those two teams along with Nolensville. Nolensville also had a
horse, right?
Yeah. I mean, we said that in the preseason. Right. All four of the leading contenders in this region, any one of those four, I think, could win the title. Lee, moving on down, Cornersville and Eagleville. Cornersville and Eagleville is our number 16 game. I think there's a bunch of people that don't like us sitting here, Lee.
Well,
we're getting some evil eyes.
They'll get over it.
Cornersville and Eagleville. Eagleville, 52% of our fan base on Twitter like Eagleville. Eagleville did come back, knocked off Huntland 19-13 in overtime last week. I think you and I both picked Huntland in that one, but Floyd Walker. Oh, and by the way, we will be at Eagleville next week. We had planned to go to Page, wasn't able to hook up with her AD. I called our buddy Coach Floyd Walker today, and I said, Coach, how about it if we come down? And he was more than happy to have us. So we'll be at Eagleville. But getting back to this game, Lee, Cornersville got down by 14 early against Community, wasn't able to get. They gained on them. They almost came back, had a chance to win it in the final 3 minutes, turned it over on downs. How do you see this game?
I'm going to go to Eagleville at home. I think it's going to be close again.
Corey Wheeler put you up to that?
I don't know. He may be mad at me because every time I pick them, they don't come out on the right end of it. But I'm going to go Eagleville tonight. I
saw him at lunch today. Of course, his daughter's a cheerleader, right?
That's right.
He said, well, who are you going to pick? And, of course, we had Frank England, who's another friend of ours, whose kids go to Cornersville. And I think both of them wanted us to pick the other team.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were trying to say there.
Yeah, I think Eagleville, I like to win over Huntland last week.
Yeah.
And, Coach Walker, it's just a good testament to him. He lost a lot of talent last year, but he's figuring out a way to make his team in the best possible spot. So I'm going to go with Eagleville.
I'm leaning that way too, Lee. Eagleville looked good. I saw them in a three-way scrimmage with Cascade and Richland. The defense looked really good. I think the defense is already there. Obviously, they held Huntland to 13 last week, so the defense has played well. If he can find some playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, I really like Eagleville. They're very young at quarterback. I think he actually was playing a freshman, I believe, Lee.
Yep.
Because, of course, they lost Ethan Cobb. I'm gonna go with them. I think it's gonna be close, a really close game. Lee, moving on down, number 15, we got Cookville and Livingston Academy. This is another interesting game. We both were pretty high on Bruce Lamb's team preseason. Got a lot of starters back on that squad. He's got a lot of preseason all-state players, 3 or 4, I think. They're good up front, which we like. We like to see a team that's senior heavy up front. Jimmy Maynard's team, I've heard possibly maybe a slight rebuild this year. You're more familiar with them than I am.
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to say rebuild, but
reload.
Well, he's kind of, I think working some kinks out early in the year. His first game there against Upperman has no bearing on the region.
Right.
This game against Livingston, no bearing on his region standings. But there is a little pride at stake here because Coach Maynard from Cookville was a starting quarterback at Livingston Academy in high school. He's from that area. He likes to go back over there and play them tough. But I don't know, man. I'm going to go Cavaliers.
I'm going that way, too. The Friday main event.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. Will McDonald, that quarterback at Livingston, he's good. Real good.
Yeah, no doubt. He's preseason All-State. Yeah, he is very good. And that was one of the reasons why we liked him so much in that preseason, put him in our top 10, Lee. 28-7, Cookville won this game last year. Stockton Owen was 14 of 21 for 205 yards. He also had 159 yards rushing. So I like the quarterback position. You know, he looked pretty good last week against the Upperman. So if they can get some veteran leadership out, although he's a junior, you know, he played well in a tough game against a good team. Probably did some growing up last week, I'd say.
Yes, sir.
So I'm with you. I'm going to go with the Cavaliers. I like Jimmy Maynard's squad. Not by a lot, but I think they win it. Now, here's an interesting game, Lee. Our number 14 game, two teams that kind of took one on the chin last week. Of course, we talked about Smyrna losing to East Nashville 42-0. Coach, really tough start for Coach Matt Williams' squad. Centennial got beat pretty good by Ravenwood. How do you like these teams, and who do you lean toward?
Oh man, I was pretty high on Smyrna. I thought they were kind of my sleeper. You know, I said there earlier, because they got a ton of talent.
Right.
I mean, a ton. Of course, East Nashville, like I said, they got some real legit players over there. Man, I don't know, buddy. 42-0. You gotta. Do they have a? Did it just break their will right off the bat? Start of the season, or do they bounce back tonight? What do you?
Well, they're on the road. If they were at home, I'd feel a lot better about it. But they got to go over to Centennial. And Matt Kreisky's got a pretty solid team over there. Now they did get beat 49-21 by Ravenwood, but this Ravenwood team, Lee, like we talked with Coach Daniels, is man, they're equal to anybody. I think from a talent standpoint. So I don't want to read too much into that game.
You talked me into it.
I think I'm gonna go Centennial because they're home. I think if it was at Smyrna, I might well go the other way.
Yeah, I think I'll go Centennial, and you know we spoke on this kid earlier, but I like Grayson Marcel. He's quarterback over there. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll go Centennial, but I think it's close ball game.
I think so too. 55% of the Tennessee sports Twitter followers like Centennial, so we're going to go with them. Lee, this next game, our number 13 game, Whitehaven and Ridgeway. This game right here, last year close, 21-14, Whitehaven won. I don't think it's as close this year. I mean, Ridgeway lost a lot offensively. They got 7 starters back on defense. MUS beat them up pretty good last week, 35-3. You got to wonder how healthy they are heading into this game. Of course, Hamilton, the opponent of Whitehaven, didn't put up any fight, so I'd say most of their starters didn't see more than maybe a quarter and a half play.
That's right.
So I think they're coming in fresh. What do you think about this game?
I think Whitehaven rolls.
Yeah, me too.
I think they roll.
I agree, Lee. We won't spend a lot of time on that one. Now, this game right here is interesting. Lincoln County travels to Marshall County. Marshall County 41-7 winner over Columbia Academy last week. And we mentioned earlier, Giles County knocks off Lincoln County 38-14. We were real high on Tim Johnson's squad heading into the season. I don't know how much you need to read into that game. Is that more of an indictment on how good Giles County is, or maybe we were too high on Lincoln County? What do you think?
A little of both.
Little of both.
A little of both, maybe. I like Marshall County to roll in this ball game, to be honest with you, because we like Rucker. He grew up a lot last year, Javar Rucker. And then Kel Greer comes in this past week, gets 2 touchdowns over there. And I think it's too much tonight for Lincoln County. And it's at Marshall County. We've been down there before and enjoyed the games there. It's a great crowd to watch a high school football game. I'm going to go Marshall County.
Yeah, I like them too. I think Bryson Hammonds maybe has a big game, a breakout game tonight. I know Coach Osting likes to sling it around. They kind of stuck to the run game last week. I think maybe they open it up, throw the ball more this week.
Probably.
I think that you see some bigger numbers from him. Marshall County, I like them, Lee. I like them. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to agree with you. Tigers over Falcons in this one. Lee, let's take our last break right quick. What we need to do is we need to kind of spin this canopy around a little bit. Old fat guys getting in the sun over here and getting hot again. So we're trying to rotate. The good Lord's not cooperating because when we set this up, we look at the shadow that was being cast, and we thought we had it to where we was going to be out of it, but somehow the sun was going that way, and now it's going this way. So I don't know. Maybe the Earth's rotating. West is not true west. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe we overthought it because we were lined up right if we'd left it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go ahead and take our last break here, and we'll come back. We'll talk about these last 10 games. Mike Moulder, Lee Teat. We are the Friday Minute Event. We'll be back right after this. Hello, folks. I want to talk to you a minute about CoachT.com. I am a member, a plus member actually, of CoachT.com. Hopefully, you guys are as well. I think most of you would agree. CoachT.com, probably the best website, at least in Tennessee, if not the entire country, I think, for high school sports. You can go there, and it doesn't have to be football. I mean, Coach T is a very involved website. You got baseball, softball, soccer, baseball. I mean, any high school sport you can think of is probably going to be talked about on CoachT.com. The plus membership, some of the advantages to being a plus member is you got access to a lot of different boards that you don't have as a regular member. And I'm going to put a screenshot up to show you some of that. But, yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits to being a Coach T Plus member. You can correct scores. You can correct schedules. Any discrepancies you find with your particular team you follow, you will then have the ability to correct that yourself. So you don't have to rely on somebody else getting all that fixed. You become the captain of your team. You're the guy. So a lot of benefits to CoachT.com plus membership. And probably the best thing about it, as of last year, it's now donation based. So whatever Coach T Plus is worth to you, you decide and you make that donation. And obviously you get the membership for 1 year, but that is 1 year. So be careful. Don't do like I did this year. I didn't realize my membership had expired. I went back and obviously anteed up, got back in, and I love Coach T. Love Coach T membership, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well. So go to Coach T, go to the homepage. There's a place there, a tab there. You can click on the plus membership, make whatever donation you feel is adequate to justify your use of CoachT.com, and join us, man. Be a plus member. Of course, you get the symbol out beside your name to let other people know you're committed to the website. And I think it's a great thing, and we appreciate Jim Thompson jumping on with the Friday Minute Event again this year. And, I hope that you guys will take the time to join in with Lee and I as plus members here on Coach T. All right, Lee, we are back, and
back in the sun.
We got to talking, man, and I didn't even get the darn camera turned, but I'm out of the sun a little bit, so that's a good thing. We can roll with it. We can roll with it for 10 minutes anyway, can't we?
Oh yeah.
I may be able to move it your way a little bit. Let's see if I can do that, Lee. Look at there.
Wow.
Look at that. That's a little better. I look a little bigger, though. I zoomed it in. I look a little fatter. I might zoom it back out. Mike Moulder and Lee Teat, Friday Minute Event. We're talking big games here from Blackman High School. Blackman and Ravenwood. Lee, out here, we'll go ahead and put a shot of that up. The team's right on the field warming up. And, man, we're really excited about what we feel is going to be a phenomenal game over here. Of course, you can see the teams out on the field warming up there as we speak. See, Lee, who's that? It's Ravenwood on our end.
Yeah.
So, it's a good atmosphere over here. The crowd is slowly falling into the stands. We're still 45 minutes away from kickoff, so I think we'll probably have a full house over here before it's all said and done.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mr. Teat, we're ready for Smith County and Gordonsville. This is your area, man. I'm going to let you take the lead on this, and what's your thoughts on Smith County?
Well, what's pretty wild is the guy we were just talking to right there. He was a tailback at Smith County, went on to play at Tennessee Tech, Jalen Manning. I coached that kid in youth football. And
I remember the name.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
It's good to see him. I'm going to go Smith County tonight. I know 60% of our fan base on Twitter Sports thinks that Gordonsville's going to win because it's at Gordonsville. Gordonsville won the ball game last year.
Yeah.
I think the difference in this ball game is the quarterback for Smith County is a senior, and the quarterback for Gordonsville this year is a freshman.
Well, Smith County beat Macon County 13-9. One of my misses last week, Lee. You got that one right. You went with the Owls. Gordonsville fell to Watertown 19-13. I think we did get that one correct. We had Watertown. I really don't know, man. I would think Macon County and Watertown are comparable this year. So I don't know. I'm trying to think as far as how they did against common or opponents that should be similar talent-wise. And going off that, you might be right. It may be an Owls win here.
I think this game could go to overtime.
It could. I agree. Well, Lee, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go opposite of you.
They got to block Randall Ray.
And I'm going to go Gordonsville. I think like you said, this could be a good one.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to go Gordonsville. Our number 10 game, the Friday main event, top Super 25, our number 10 game, Red Bank and Ottawa. Red Bank shocked me last week, 38-7, Lee, a Saudi Daisy team we debated about putting in our preseason top 10. So you're talking about a 3A team that just demolished what we thought was a good 5A team. I didn't see that one coming. I really thought that would be a real close game. Ottawa, of course, their game got lightning delay. I think they were down to Davy Crockett by a little when they canceled that game.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this game?
I think Red Bank still continues on right on the track. They got several preseason All-Staters, 3 or 4 actually. And Chris Brown, played fullback there at Vanderbilt. I think he's got them rolling, and I think Red Bank goes and gets a squeaker against Ottawa.
I'm kind of wanting to go that way also, Lee, but I don't know. Just something tells me Scott Chandler's team may feel like they dodged a bullet getting that game canceled. They were down in. They probably felt like they still had and I'm sure they did. They did have an opportunity to win that game. 33. Oh, I got the wrong score there. That's not right. That's not. I was looking at my notes. Sorry, Lee. I kind of got sidetracked. But I'm going to go. I want to go Red Bank. I got to go Red Bank, man, because I didn't think they would beat Saudi Daisy that bad.
Yeah, I'm going Red Bank.
I got to go with you, man. That's going to be 52% of our followers on Twitter has Red Bank, so that tells me nobody's sure about this game.
Yeah.
You go 50, anything under 55%, and then it's a coin toss. I mean, that's the way our followers on Twitter see this game, and I see the game as you do, very close. I'm going to join you, Lee Teat. I'm going to go with the Red Bank Lions. Greenback and Meigs County, Lee. That's a big one, brother. Big game.
This is the one that's gave me trouble.
Yeah.
This one has been the biggest troublemaker.
Jason Fitzgerald with Aaron Swafford, Mr. Football winner, Navy commitment, leading Meigs County. They had a close game with Sweetwater. I didn't think that game would be that close, which tells me maybe Sweetwater's pretty good this year. It was 18-7, they defeated Sweetwater. Greenback fell to Loudon 54-20. That was a shocker. I think we both picked Greenback, didn't we, Lee?
I can't remember. I know we're big on Herrick, Coach Herrick.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, this game right here has gave me fits because I don't know how many times Coach Ryan has lost 2 in a row. He's 51-6.
Yeah, couldn't have been too many times, could it?
Since he's been at Greenback. So I don't know if he's lost 2 in a row ever.
Yeah,
since he's been
that's
there.
Good point.
But it's at Meigs County, and I did get to see Aaron Swafford last year against Trousdale there in the semifinals. Mm-hmm. He's a pretty good ball player, buddy. I'm going to go Meigs County, but I tell you what, it's taking everything in me.
I was kind of hoping you would go Greenback because I was thinking Meigs, but I'm like you. I've been a coin toss. 76% of our followers like Meigs County.
But Greenback's got a ton of talent.
Oh, they got a ton of talent. You're right, but they're on the road.
That's
so
right.
I'm going to go Meigs with you, Lee.
What do you think margin of victory?
3. Yeah, I think it's going to be that close.
I think
I got it as a coin toss. Number 8 game, Lee. We got Oak Ridge, Dobbins Bennett. Joe Gaddis' squad took one on the chin to Hardin Valley, 13-6 last week. Did not see that score happening. Gaddis has got Mitchell Gibbons at quarterback. He's got a couple of preseason guys. Jacob Adams at tight end. He was plays linebacker. He was a preseason All-State. Tyler Galloway, another lineman. I mean, he's got a lot of talent, man. I just didn't see that Hardin Valley score. Did you?
No. But I tell you what, I'm gonna go against our Twitter poll tonight. I'm gonna go Dobbins Bennett at home.
You like Dobbins Bennett, like the Indians, Joey?
Last year it was 42-12 Oak Ridge.
Yeah, and of course last year Dobbins Bennett missed the playoffs for the first time in forever.
Yeah, I think
but they're
Christian's getting it.
Yeah, they're playing much better. I'm going to go opposite Lee. I'm going to go Oak Ridge, and for a lot of the reasons you just stated with Greenback, you don't see Gaddis lose 2 in a row very often.
That's right.
So I'm going to go Oak Ridge on this one. Number 7, we got Brentwood at Cane Ridge. Eddie Woods. I talked to him this week, Lee. Got a little more information, a little more insight into that Pearl Cone game. Now his quarterback, the kid that I was really high on, Xavier Clemens. Did not. He either got injured in that game, or I know he didn't play the whole game. I don't know if he played any of the game. I don't think he played any of the game.
Right. He got hurt in practice.
Yeah, I think he did. So he was out, and I saw him against Riverdale. This kid is phenomenal, man. Good dual threat. He can sling it around. Of course, they got Dejon Gibson. They got Quentin Barnes, probably one of the best receivers in the state. Michael Reese. They got a ton of talent over on that side of the ball. Not to say that Brentwood doesn't. Brentwood with Cade Granzow. Okay, sorry, thank you. Talented as well. Had a big win over NBA, Lee. I didn't expect that. So who you like in this one?
I like Brentwood, and I like them to win tonight because I think Coach Woods is by the end of the season get ready for Cane Ridge. But I think he's nursing some injury bugs right now and trying to get some kids healthy. I'm gonna go Brentwood.
I'm gonna hedge my bet on this one, Lee T. I went out in the Big Ones contest on Coach T. Went out on a big limb with this one. If you look at the numbers on Coach T, 94% of Coach T Big Ones players picked Brentwood. 81% of our followers picked Brentwood. I went Cane Ridge on the Big Ones contest because I'm trying to gain some ground. I lost some ground last week, so I kind of went out on a limb with a few picks. I'm going to go Brentwood here with you. I'm going to kind of hedge my bet on that Coach T pick. So,
but don't sleep on Cane Ridge.
Don't sleep on Cane Ridge.
That Pearl Cone team, Pearl and East Nashville, my opinion, 3A. Well, that's going to be a game right there, ain't it? Squads right there.
Yep, no doubt. So I like Cane Ridge to win their region and get on back to the quarterfinals. But given the fact that Clemens probably is not he said the trainer wants to hold him out another week. He said he's running, he's cutting on it and everything, but the trainer wants to hold him out for one more week. He's a game time decision.
Yeah.
Given that information, I'm going to go Brentwood. Knoxville Central and Fulton Lee. That's our number 6 game. Central whipped it on our guy. 51-20 over Cleveland. Marty Wheeler's squad in his debut there. Tough matchup, to be honest with you, man. Yeah. Central's Dakota Favre is on another level right now. He lit them up, 357 yards, 5 TDs last week. Well, this game here, what do you think? Of course, Fulton got lit up too by South Doyle. So, what's your thoughts?
I think Knox Central rolls, man. I think Fulton is kind of, I don't want to say rebuilding, but man, they lost so many kids from last year's team. And Xavier Malone, hard to replace. I know last week Tommy Sweat, he had a little bit of a rough start. I think he'll do better this week.
Yeah.
Coach Black's going to coach him up.
Oh, yeah.
They'll show up and play, but I like Knox Central. Favre's too much, man.
Yeah, Sweat, 8 of 27, 110 yards last week, Lee. Nobody rushed for more than 24 yards for that Fulton team. That's not what you expect out of a Rob Black-led team typically, which tells me South Doyle is every bit of what we thought they were in the preseason.
Yeah.
They're eat up with talent. They're good. But I agree with you. I think Knox Central a little too much for Fulton tonight.
Yeah.
Number 5, Lee, we got Austin East at Alcoa. This is the only team that really played Alcoa even remotely close last year, of course, except for Covington. Third round, they got beat 24-6, I believe. Last week, Austin East fell to Knox Webb, 3-0 in a defensive battle. Alcoa, of course, would beat the Blackman team we're fixing to see here, 23-14. Who you like in this one?
I like Alcoa, but I don't think it's going to be a walk-away blowout. Be interested to see because it was a big ball game down here, but it was also a very physical game. I wonder if Coach Rankin had to rest some kids early this week, get them back healthy, because this was a very physical game over here last weekend.
Yeah, short week. Short week for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, I'm going to obviously go Alcoa until anybody knocks them off. I'm going to keep on them.
Yeah.
But I like Coach Phillips, and I think this will be 14-point game maybe.
Yeah, I think Trey Foster has got to have a game of his life for the Roadrunners to have a shot.
Yeah.
14, possibly 20, I'm guessing, Lee. I don't know. I don't think Austin East is going to score on Alcoa, not much anyway, maybe a score.
Right.
It's going to kind of depend on what Alcoa is able to do against East, I think.
Correct.
All right, Jackson Northside, Haywood County, another huge game over in West Tennessee. You broke some news to me earlier this week, Lee, which was?
Haynes Holt, tore a tricep. First ball game and out for the season. Got to have surgery, and he was a big part of their offense there. That 34-20 score at Beach, Haynes Holt got hurt, I think, midway through the third.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I think Beach started pulling away from him a little bit.
Yeah.
Taking him out of the picture, that hurts Coach Powell up there. So and plus I love Haywood County, man. They got tons of athletes over there. So and it's at home. I'm gonna go Haywood County.
Chris Smith's over there now, Lee. Got a big win over Henry County in his debut there at Haywood, leaving Germantown, 24-7 over Henry County, and they're at home. And given, like you said, with Haynes Holt out, I like Haywood to win this one. It's not going to be near as close as what I thought it would have been, I don't think. Number 3 game, Riverdale. Lee travels over to Franklin. Franklin, big winner over Siegel last week. Josh Nichols did not play. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. Ian Burr had a big game for Franklin, 3 field goals, 4 PATs. He's I don't know. I'd like to know what happened to Josh Nichols. That's what's kind of threw me off. Drew Smith had a big game for Riverdale, 140 yards rushing, 3 TDs. Taylor Yancey played well, 9 of 14, 126 yards, 2 TDs. Which way are you leaning in this one? This is a student against a coach. Remember,
that's right.
Coach Kreisky played for Donnie Webb at Henry County, right?
I think that's. Is
that right? Does that
counts.
Oh, I thought he played for Donnie Webb at some point, or coached under Donnie Webb. There's a tie to Donnie Webb. Maybe right. I thought he played under him. At any rate,
I tell you what, man, I'm gonna go Riverdale because I think this year Taylor Yancey, all indicators are leading to, everybody I've talked to, they're very impressed with his leadership this year. He's grown a little bit since last year, grown up a little bit since last year. I'm going to go with Riverdale. I like his leadership, and I think he gets the job done.
That front 7 at Riverdale, Lee, is stout.
Oh, yeah.
That defensive line, they've got a couple of good D1 talent. Gaston Haney being the leader up front, man. I think I like Riverdale. I think it's going to be a good game, and I think Will Kreisky's bunch goes over there and gets a road win. I probably would lean toward Franklin if Josh Nichols, if I knew what his status was.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if he's still with the team. I hadn't heard anything. He's still listed on the Max Press roster, but you know how that goes. Right. So he may not be on. I need to call Coach Webb and find out about that. Henry County and Beach, Lee, that's our number 2 game. Beach, like you said, was able to pull out against Jackson Northside last week. Henry County lost to Haywood. Kind of a weird situation. These two teams are playing each other this week. You don't see that very often, especially when you talk about a 121-mile trip between these two programs. Who do you like in this one?
I like Beach at home. We've obviously talked about how much we love Coach Crabtree and his running attack. I don't think you're going to see anything different. But, Coach Counts, starting a true freshman at quarterback.
Right.
I say true freshman. A freshman.
A freshman. He's true freshman?
Yeah, a freshman at quarterback. And everybody I've talked to says, you know, for a freshman, he's the real deal. He's maybe looking at the future for his quarterback spot, but, you know, I think it'll be a good ball game, but I like Beach.
Yeah, I like Beach too, Lee. That's a long track, 121 miles. You got a 3-hour drive over here for Henry County, coming off a really disappointing loss. You got a freshman QB, Ryan Dameron, I think it is. Yeah, like you mentioned, he's a freshman. So coming into an environment like Beach, how's he respond, you know?
Well, he's going to have to respond, but he'll have to grow up.
Yeah, right.
And that'll be a game that'll help him in the future.
All right, Lee, the game of the night. Our game here, Ravenwood at Blackman. 63% of our fan base on Tennessee Sports. Hit us up on Twitter at Tennessee Sports. Take our poll every week because we put that information out, and it kind of helps us pick because we're listening to you guys this week.
That's right.
Ravenwood, 63% of the fans like them. Big win over Centennial, 49-21, Lee. They got a loaded roster. I mean, SEC caliber talent up and down this roster. 17 starters back from last year. Blackman, not a lot of starters back, still have a lot of talent. They've got some kids that have transferred in, including Keontae Newsom and Malachi Burns, that made them better quick. Who do you like in this one? Oh, hold on, Lee. Hold on. I got the wrong camera on you, man.
Get my camera.
I got the wrong camera on you. Let me get you back on camera.
Got to hook my buddy up right here.
Now, Lee, who do you like in this one?
All right, to my little buddy Jace, who plays for the Blackman Blaze youth football team. Our buddy Mike Carruthers, his son. He brought me this hat and said he wanted me to show this hat whenever I made my pick, and I told him I was going to do the Corso.
Lee Corso.
You know, put the hat on. But not so fast, Jace. Not so fast, buddy. I got to go Raven.
That's sad, man.
I know.
How you do that kid like that?
Hey, I love you, Jace. You know I do. I got to go Ravenwood. I'm a competitor.
Well, absolutely.
But Blackman comes on the shrimp.
I might change my pick here. Thank you, partner.
Yeah.
Lee Teat, I believe it's about time to end this show, isn't it?
Lowland Shrimp Bowl.
That's good deal.
I got to go Ravenwood. I think too much tonight.
Yeah. Oh man, that just let me see. I got to. I mean, I got to vote my conscience here, Lee.
Right.
I think with the senior QB and so much talent, I got to go Ravenwood too. If it makes you Blackman folks feel any better, I'm going to be standing on Blackman sideline rooting for you with this gift here. What about that, Lee?
Absolutely.
But,
it's a huge matchup.
It's huge, man. It's huge. A lot of talent, man. I'm really excited to watch this game.
Ruco-Wilco. That's what they call it, the Ruco-Wilco.
Okay.
County versus Williams.
There you go. But should be a great game, man. If you're over in the Murfreesboro area, swing by.
Buddy.
If you're watching now, man, holler at Lee and I. We're getting off air here in a minute. Let us know you watched and tuned in. We appreciate everybody watching us and appreciate Coach T hooking us up. We appreciate Elaborate Images with all the merchandise we got.
Right.
Your new hats are in, by the way.
Awesome.
Let me tell you that. So for Mike Mulder and Lee Teat, this has been the Friday main event. You guys have a good week of football. We'll see you at Eagleville Forest next Friday, 4:30. Be with us. Out.